Hey everybody, welcome back to the trail. Let's look at the camera on me. So we just picked up where we left off yesterday. We're going to be going down and around Big Meadows Campground today, and then into a gap, climb back out of that and head up the side of Hawksbill. Hawksbill is the tallest mountain in the park as far as I know. We're not going to go up to the top of it because the AT kind of skirts around the side, and we're going to hit Rock Spring Cabin. But this is also continuing our hike through the highest section of the AT, elevation-wise, in the park. Hazeltop being, I think, a very close contender to the highest point, which I believe to be the where the trail spur is for Stony Man, and that's what we're going to get to after Rock Spring Hut. Can't remember all the names. And so once we get to Rock Spring Hut, we'll go down and then back up to Skyland Resort, which was originally built as a getaway for rich Washingtonians before air conditioning. They would come out to the ridge line and enjoy the cooler weather in the summer. As an example, I don't remember what the temperature was this morning in Arlington, but it's been a good 20 degrees cooler. On the ridge line, it was 50 degrees when I got out of my car at 8 this morning, so a little bit of a nip in the air. Anyway, let's turn this around on the trail. And I'm going to do a better job, or at least try to do a better job, of keeping this centered where it needs to be. So then once we get to Skyland, we'll go up to the Spur Trail and then down and over Stony Man and then Little Stony Man. And that'll be the end of the hike for today, which will set us up to finish off the middle section and end in Thornton Gap next week. Today's hike is about 8 miles. I'm going to do kind of the same type of deal that we did last week in terms of video length and distance that we cover. So should be a good day. It's the first time it isn't sunny on a Sunday that I've recorded. It's been like this a couple Sundays when I've been in the park, but I didn't bring my camera. Alright, I'm gonna cut back in when we get to Rock Spring, show you guys that hut, and there is a... I swear I keep hearing like loud exhale behind me, and I bet you it's something in my pack swashing around, but it sounds like a horse. I don't want to get run over by a horse or a deer. And then we'll see another one of those PATC cabins, like the Picasso cabin 2 weeks ago, whenever that was. That was before the quarantine. So we'll take a look at that and sign the logbook. Alright, talk to you guys later. Alright, just getting to the turn off for the cabin. Not a cabin, there is a cabin there, but for the shelter slash hut slash, I don't know what you want to call it other than that. This is the first shelter I ever stayed at on the AT, and the one that I did my first gear shakedown on, and then took my dad to do a gear shakedown on the year after, when I first went on a section hike with him. And if anybody wants to go on a section hike with me, we can do a gear shakedown on this section of trail too. Going up Hawksbill is a pretty good test. I'm not used to it this grown in. Typically I'm here in the spring or the fall, but usually the spring before it's grown in. Even in the fall it's still a little thick. But this is a nice little spot right after Big Meadows. A popular place to be after you have dinner at the cafe, the Wayside, and then head out for the night. Oh, there's the roof. So here's the fire pit for the shelter. It still smells like a fire. And then just a normal Shenandoah AT shelter. A little bit older than the other ones. It looks like that floor needs to be replaced. And then bear box. And if we come down here, we'll see to the left-hand side another one of the cabins that the PATC has in the park. And this tends to be one of the more popular shelters because it's easy to access from the road, and this cabin kind of brings more weekend hikers out. So there's the nice little cabin in the woods. Looks like somebody might be there. And then down by that rock is the spring. So we're just coming down the other side of Hawksbill. I wanted to show you, that's to the left is the Salamander Trail, and then that goes up Hawksbill, which I don't know how well you can see through there, but it's just like the rocky outcrop up there, and where all the rocks are is where the Shenandoah salamander lives. It's one of 3 places in the park, and the park's the only place in the world where they live. But what's also cool about Hawksbill is it's the tallest peak in the park, but then look at this drop off on the other side. You can see through the trees kind of how quickly that drops off. Over here, they actually had to build like a retaining wall for the trail to go through. So we'll take a look at that, and you can kind of see over there. Well, you don't have to look that far, just how quickly that drops off. And so we're going to get a good view of this not coming back, but going to the left over here. The trail kind of curls that way, so we can look back at Hawksbill. So I'll get that after we get over there and see it from the other side. Quite the drop off. Alright, so here's one of the look back points that I was talking about. Right up through the trees, and I don't know if I can get it to focus on it, is Hawksbill. And so we came around like this way, swung around, and now we're coming up to the left so we can take a look back to where we came from. And that is the tallest peak in the park. And we did not climb up it, fortunately. But another day, perhaps. Oh, and then here's a good example of like the retaining walls that the CCC built to accommodate the Appalachian Trail. These little guys, blooming from the bottom up. On our way up to Stony right now. Got out of Hawksbill Gap and are climbing up. Here's some more. Different flowers out now that it's a couple months later than we were filming a couple episodes ago. Just thinking about missing the fiddleheads. But next year, hopefully, everything goes well. But it's a perfect day to be out here. Sun comes out every once in a while, but it's mostly cloudy, and it's just so nice and cool that you hardly feel the need to take a break. Just perfect temperature. I think we're going to come around to a view, of the valley over here. Hopefully it's good. Yeah, it is. Sleepy little valley. So we are at Stony Man, or not Stony Man, Skyland South, and to the left here is all the stables. I don't know if there's any horses there right now. This is where they have the stables for the equestrian programs that they do here. I don't know that they keep the horses here year-round, because I don't think it's obviously seasonal when they can ride, because the park's not open all the time. But also just wanted to prove that I'm not insane for thinking that there might have been a horse behind me earlier, because there are horses in the park and equestrian programs. I just didn't notice until right now that it doesn't look like they're even operating at the moment. So there it is, 38:32, I think. The highest point on the AT in Shenandoah National Park. So from now on, it's all downhill. I wish. I was talking to somebody earlier. Oh, it was a guy doing a section hike. He's like, man, it's just so rough how it goes up and down all day. I'm like, yeah, it does do that. People don't think it be like it is, but it do. Alright, so pop back in. Got like a mile and a half to go before the end of the day. Alright. I'm gonna pop out of the tunnel for a second and get a little view from Little Stony Man, not Old Stony Man. Oh. So like that Stony Man right there to the left, and the views up there are good, but not substantially different than what you were seeing right now. So much more efficient to just come here. Alright, about half mile left in the day. Alright everybody, so just going to wrap it up for today. This just switches back and forth for the remainder of our descent to the parking lot. And then next week we'll go from Little Stony Man all the way up to Thornton Gap, which will finish the middle third of the park and put us well on our way to getting up to Front Royal before too long. Likely going to have to finish that series, or this series, probably after my park through hike with Jason and Leah. So get a little preview of that. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming along today, and hopefully we'll see you down the trail not too long from now. Later.